I'm hearing two young men trying to throw somebody under the bus. And we're going to therefore have two eliminations today. Jaime and Steven, you will lead the program this evening.
I did my best for Kim. We ended up with a loss.
Sometimes I should share the blame for some things. Yeah, that's it.
Guess I should have just said, oh, it's my fault. It's my fault that we lost. It's my fault that we lost. I guess that was the idea of what we should have said. It's my fault that we lost.
Welcome back, apprentices. We are down to the final four, and we are down to our fourth challenge. Our fourth challenge for you places you in direct contact with one of our preferred clients of the Belize Bank, the Gallon Jug Agro-Industry Company. For this challenge, you'll be traveling to the Gallon Jug Estate, where you'll visit the general manager of the Gallon Jug Estate. Your specific task will be to prepare a marketing strategy for one of those product lines. The marketing strategy may include extending the product line, it may include product differentiation, or it may include developing and coming up with new distribution channels for the products, or even a new marketing campaign. At the end of that exercise, you'll present your marketing strategy to a panel. We have already identified the two products. One will be coffee and the other one will be sauces. And we will indicate to you which product the teams will be representing. We've decided to split the teams again into two. We'll have Judith and Salvino properly positioned here. And we have Kim and we have Kenny. In terms of the products, Kim and Kenny, I want you to handle the coffee, and Judith and Salvino will handle the sauces. You have your challenge, team. Make the best of the opportunity.
Welcome to Gallon Jug. My name is Alan Gill and I'm the general manager here. The coffee plantation is around 100 acres. 140 acres. 140 acres. It's producing, about 100 acres of producing coffee. So it's quite a bit. It's the biggest coffee plantation in Belize. Everybody says it won't work. Everybody says it can't grow coffee in Belize, but here we are. We've been doing it for 15, 20 years already, and we're still growing coffee. Okay, so what we do, we go from here. We'll tour the coffee plantations, we'll tour the factory of how everything is made, and then we go to the sauce plant and do the same thing.
The coffee that we have here, the first seed that came to Gallon Jug was the Arabica. So from there on, we are using the same coffee plantation to keep expanding. So we are using the same seed. So we don't have like any seed coming from Guatemala or Costa Rica or Colombia. So we have the original seed. When we put the seed into the soil here, it will take not less than 40 days to start germinating. And from there, it's gonna take 5 to 6 months until it's ready to go to the coffee plantation. Here we're standing in the coffee plantation, and I guess everybody noticed that we are standing under shade. So our coffee is under shade. One of the good things about growing coffee under shade is you get more flavor, more aroma to your coffee, is because the ripening of the coffee, it's slower. look at the people harvesting the coffee and, you know, getting that trailer full of red cherries. So all those cherries are being transported, you know, from the coffee plantation to this place here, Pila. So all the clean coffee comes to this place, and then we ferment it for 2 hours, you know, with water. And from there, it's being taken into the patios, the drying area. You know, the coffee is already washed, already drained, and it's ready to be transported. So they will take it to those pilas at the end. So the coffee will be sit on the concrete pads. They will be moving it, you know, like every 15 minutes until, you know, at the end of the day, which is gonna be pretty dry. So we're gonna move the coffee from here to gallon jug. And then the coffee comes to the bodega, and this coffee will go into the huller machine, and that's the machine that is gonna be cleaning the shell, you know, that's the husk. Okay, there you have the green coffee that is ready to go into the roasting machine. Okay, right here we have some roasted coffee. You know, after being in the machine for 20 minutes, the coffee that just came out from the machine, this coffee is ready to be packed in coffee beans. But now we're gonna see how we do the ground coffee. So they're gonna be mixing the coffee right now, and then we're gonna move it into the coffee grinder. What we are giving to our customers is number 5, and it's what we call a medium ground, because we believe that from there when you get the best flavor and the best aroma. Okay, so here's our grinded coffee, and that coffee is ready to go into the packing section. And every time they see our packaging bag, where did you get that? You know, in Guatemala, it's very hard to find a bag like this. So this is a very special bag, again, to keep our high quality in coffee.
Being here at Gallon Jug, it was a new experience for me. The first time I've ever heard of the place. It's the first time being here. It's a beautiful place, I'll give you that. It's calm. I learned a lot about coffee and pepper sauces. It's just now to find ways how to market them out there.
I learned a lot today about the coffee. I learned that there is a long process to it. And I also learned about the different type of coffees, like dark, the brown, and the espresso. And it seems like a really tedious line of work. But in the end, you're going to get a nice cup of coffee.
Working with Kimberly, it's easy. It's like a walk in the park. She doesn't really get aggressive like Judith. I guess she just needs to speak up a little bit more. But I'm there motivating her since she's in my group.
When we were in group together for the commercial for San Pedro, we work well together, and I don't have a problem working with Kenny. I definitely can help in the marketing of the coffee. I have some great ideas.
I don't really see much of a threat out there anymore. I guess there's Judith, but she's just a loud mouth most of the times. Her ideas isn't really that bright. And then you have Salvino, whereby Salvino is just, the things he said isn't really relevant to whatever is going on. So I'm a little bit confused of how he made it this far.
I'm definitely nervous about going into the boardroom due to the last time that my group was in the bottom. And so I know that I have pressure on me to do well.
When I first came here, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful estate. I didn't even know we had Gallon Jug. First of all, I didn't even know this place existed, right? So that's a strategy we're gonna have to change. But it's beautiful. It's a beautiful place. The people are nice. The food is good. I mean, it's a little piece of paradise right at home and you don't even realize it.
Here we have the preparation room. Now they're gonna start with the process. So they're gonna be preparing all the veggies and moving forward until they get the process. The juice, we're gonna use it for the mango tango, and then the pulp is being used for the secret sauce. This is gonna be mostly one of the only machine that we use here for the producing of the sauces, and then all the rest is just all handmade. So this is the area where all the the veggies are being processed. Get the mixture, and then we go to the cooking area. So that's the carrot pulp. So now we're gonna add the red habaneros.
So carrots is one of the main ingredients in all sauces.
Yes. So this is the mango tango, and I was like what I was saying at the beginning is the same carrots are in the 3 different sizes that we have. So at one point the juice and the pulp will be separated, and the pulp will come to the secret sauce, and the juice will go to the mango tango. My fire, secret sauce. Okay, you're free to try it.
I will go with the hot sauce first.
Really? No, I want to taste the hot sauce. Gotta remember the thing.
Hot for you.
I like it.
Okay.
It was good. It was good. Doesn't burn.
No, well, that's just the top part.
We said the mango tango is like a marinating sauce. You know, so like in your barbecues and that, on the final stage of the barbecue, you just brush some of that on there and finish cook it with that. It gives you that different taste. And your Maya Fire, again, is your hot sauce. Everybody loves the hot sauce, you know, so it depends on what you want to use it for. You know, so you've got 3 different brands or different types, and you've got 3 different areas to look at.
So that we can look at different ways as to how we can take those 3 sauces and then relate them with a target market that is fit for that sauce, and then start to bring out more, and then from there you can start gaining your more exposure then of the sauces.
Sounds good.
So Galan Jug doesn't have no distributing powers over the coffee?
No. We used to distribute coffee to to different places, but at the moment, everything is being sold to Belize City.
You guys have commercials, radio
No,
ads?
we don't do any of that right now. Our main distribution is just through the company.
And you guys said that right now you're distributing from one channel.
We just work for one channel, yes, our main office.
But you're open to other channels as well?
Sure, it depends what marketing strategy you all come up with.
So you think it'd be a good idea for the stores to have the coffee?
I believe so. And I guess one of the marketing plans that Belize is implementing right now is they're gonna have like a van, and then have the product being distributed to different places around the country.
So the local shops should have the product Galan Jug.
I believe so.
We're gonna be able to market it so that people actually able to taste it, and they can judge for themselves, because we could make the prettiest of taglines.
Exactly. I mean,
they will want
to. Here, it's easy talking about it and doing it, but unless you can get the actual taste of it out to the people.
Yeah, that's the
then
tough
it's a
part
different thing.
with sauces.
Exactly.
It is going to be a challenge to figure out a marketing strategy for them, but I'm very confident that Salvino and I have some strong points to present. Teaming up with Salvino was a bit of a surprise, because what I understand at the same time, the thing is that he doesn't express a lot when he wants to, and I know he has the task and he knows what he wants to say, he just doesn't know how to say it. So at first, when I first got teamed up with him, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be a challenge, because I'm gonna have to break him out of his shell and show him like the right questions to ask when he's trying to get a message across. So when I first got teamed up with him, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of taken back. I'm like, man, this challenge is gonna be extra hard.
Well, yes, I'm happy to be teamed with Judith because in the past experience that I have with her in the challenge, she really have good leadership skills and communication skills, as I tell you before.
Okay, Salvino said that he has never been a team leader. So of course I understand, and I was recently a team leader, and so he said that if he would be given the opportunity, and I said of course I won't.
I'm ready to take this challenge because for the past 3 years I am a teacher, and I would think of myself as having a good leadership skills because I have like 30 students every day.
The only thing I can go in with is that I've tried my best and I make sure that I put my effort in every challenge that I've done so far, and that's exactly I'm going in with this challenge. Is I'm going to put my foot forward. It's 4 people down to the wire, so it's not really in this case it's two teams and it's 2 people on each team, but I need to look at it in the fact that even if Salvina is stocking down, I need to try to bring it up for the both of us just to try to make sure that the challenge pulls through.
Okay, well, this is it, guys. We've had a long day and we appreciate you all being out here. We hope you enjoyed yourselves and had a good time walking around and seeing what we're doing here. On behalf of Hector and myself, we thank you for being here, and we actually look forward to seeing what you can come up with.
Again, compared to the rest of the packaging.
After going to the stores, we learned that the Galan Jug coffee needed more tags to attract people to buy the product more. And also, we learned that tourists like the product, they like to take it back with them.
Then have to move this on to eye level.
705 Mango Tango.
Mango Tango.
Okay, so okay, I got emotional today because we already went out with an idea of how we would start the day in terms of going to the stores. His original plan was to only go to Save You and then Brodays. And while in Brodays, I told him, you have to remember that our product is different than the product of the other team. They have coffee. And so what we need to do is to go to places that utilize our sauces, which would be restaurants, resorts, if there's any that we can maybe call. And at first he just looked at me and said, no, it doesn't really make any sense, let's just go home.
You're out of stock with the Belize. I need to think, I would say I think slow than she is fast with her idea.
Because the main thing that they need to start to do is to have word of mouth. Word of mouth that is the strongest marketing tool anybody could have.
I have no problem with women leading. But the reason I became leader is because she was the leader of the last challenge, and I guess it's just a matter of taking turns. The only thing that has me a little bit worried is Kim not speaking the way she needs to speak. At the beginning she was told she needs to not give that barrier by folding her hands.
Definitely plan to come out of my shell more. Each time I do a presentation I get a little better, so definitely going to do better than the last time.
So cold coffee, I wanted different flavors. And what else?
That only one.
The serving per container 28, serving per container 30. So just have more servings. Okay, so everybody have a sweet and sour sauce. I'm worried about our group dynamics simply because he's not a good presenter and he doesn't know how to explain himself fully when he wants to give something or an idea. And so I feel that it's going to be a really downfall on the way we go in tomorrow because it's the fact that he knows that he's not talking properly and he doesn't do anything to change it.
Well, with my action and my responsibility, I think I would jeopardize Judith because during the show, she always go the extra mile and self-confident. But if we do lose, I know that she will stay on the show because of her great work and commitment she have done already.
But you see, all that stuff goes on one shelf, and if it sells fast, then we have a shelf for it.
So if they do the tasting outside, can they also negotiate to get a shelf up to the front to actually push it?
Yes, they could do that.
Yeah, but what she was saying is that the sauces, we can't really choose. They can't really choose where they put the placement of the sauces. The only thing they could probably do is to negotiate coming up higher because they push for their products first. And so we noticed that finished products are the products that are at the top. So we have to try to figure out a way how, or at least, we could give it to Bowen and Bowen that they should. I'm sure they could negotiate.
And we just have a couple questions about Gallon Jug, specifically the coffee made there. The first question is, why isn't the coffee being known to the public of Belize?
Well, it's one of our smaller brands. To start off, it's one of the smaller brands at Bowen and Bowen, and it's been in the market for a while. It's between the coffee and the sauces. It is our better product, and it's one of the only, if not, for a while, it's been the only coffee in Belize. So it's really just a matter of it being pushed in the media, mainstream media channels.
What are some challenges you or the organization face in marketing this sauce?
Well, for Gallon Jug, the immediate challenge that pops to mind is that it's a small brand, so the budget is limited. You're not going to see a Gallon Jug TV commercial running every afternoon, every evening on the news. You're not going to see 5 Gallon Jug billboards pop up. The challenge is to be creative with what you have.
How are the stores that sell the Gallon Jug coffee, how are they chosen?
Well, right now the main channels that we push Gallon Jug through is the big supermarkets and the tourist spot. Reason for that is Gallon Jug is a premium priced product. We have to look at what our target market is, who can afford Gallon Jug, and that tends to be the bigger supermarkets, your Brody's, your Savius, People's Store in Orange Walk, and then secondary, you look at the tourist spot, airports, hotels.
How is the exporting, like the international market?
There is room for growth there in the international market. We don't currently do major exporting. There's still some certifications to be done in terms of exporting.
I'm suggesting the wildlife retailers. I don't know if you feel comfortable with that.
I don't have a name, so.
To be real, I think any name is better than the bulldog breeders. So.
Differentiation?
Differentiation of how the product look different than all the rest. So you don't think we should change it? You're already unique, right? So let's just put that.
We work great together, but I don't trust him because he will say one thing to your face, another thing behind your back. And he got Steven all riled up when Steven was in my group the last time, and he felt really bad because he thought I wasn't listening to his opinion. And he told Judith that I am going home in the 3rd episode, and when I came out, he told me, I know you would have been the one staying. So it's like, I don't know, like double split personality or something.
So you have to describe why, all you have to put all natural and describe it, that why everything is better. You need to explain that the packaging have a specific valve and it's sealed in a way whereby it could ventilate.
Alright, so I guess we could review hourly notes, like every single important stuff, and then put it together from there, right?
At this time, I'm feeling nervous because I was paired up with somebody that it's not really all that interested in the competition at this moment. He's just laid back. His mentality is that he's made it to the top 4, and so win or lose, he's okay.
When they have one out, which is the 10 ounce, they don't have the 5 ounce. So you need to see how they could start pushing the 5 ounce.
I've been with Salvino for the past 3 challenges, so I think I know him better than anyone else, and he speaks in circles. He's the type of person that you say one thing, it gets across, and he'll come from behind and say the same thing, just in different words, I'd say. But I'll leave him to that. I guess he's Judith's problem now.
Salvino will definitely hurt the presentation tomorrow because Salvino have a really hard time coming up with great ideas. He will talk a lot before he come up with one good idea, and then he also have problem speaking English.
it's a Belize Apprentice. You can only go so far riding on with people. You need to start to step up and take things for your own self and stop trying to feed off us. You can't feed off of us anymore. It's only 4 of us now. So it's time for you to show and shine in what you could bring to the plate. To the plate. You can't continue to do what you're doing then.
Another point for the product differentiation is revisiting the label. They need to try do something with their color and the emblem.
I was talking to Salvino and he looked a little bit worried. I asked him, what's wrong? He said he saw Judith crying. So I was wondering if it's maybe due to the fact that, and he seemed a little bit down to the fact that she was crying. So I'm assuming that she was crying because he was on her team. So I guess to see that happening, it gave me that little confidence that, okay, I guess tomorrow things will be on my terms.
I felt like I've actually worked to get here. You know, I've pulled my weight in every single challenge. I was able to work with everybody the best way I know I could have done in that moment. And so I played the game fair. And I felt like because I've played the game fair, and I've done it in a way that depicts what the bank would want their apprentice to be, that I deserve to be the apprentice.
The right way, the proper way. You know, you're ready.
When I go sleep tonight, I will build that confidence, sleep good. What I need to say tomorrow will just come out. So
I'm ready. I'm good.
Good morning. We are the Supreme Retailers. My name is Kenny Lopez and this is
Kim O'Brien.
Well, the objectives of this presentation is first to show you guys the ideas that we have came up with the extension of the product line. We have the product differentiation, we have the new distribution channels, and lastly, the marketing campaigns. Firstly, in the extending of the product line, we came up with the idea of cold coffee with different flavors. Secondly, we have the light roast. And lastly, we have the single serve. The single serve can cater to every institution all around the country, from hotels to restaurants to resort, even in the office places.
Well, we found out that the Gallon Jug coffee is 100% natural, so we believe that should be clearly labeled on the package. And we believe that it can be right up here. We believe that more of the coffee should be sold to the resorts and the hotels. The packages can be mailed overseas to the tourists. Tourists take it back to the United States, and they only use it for a special occasion because they live really far away and they cannot get the coffee as they want it. So if a system is put into place for them to be able to get this coffee while they're all the way in the United States, that would be a really good idea.
Now, the marketing campaigns, the first idea we came up with is the recycling outlets. Like in every store that sells the Gallon Jug coffee, there can be both 2 bins, 1 glass and 1 plastic, where you can throw the trash, or you can throw the plastic for the Gallon Jug coffee and the glass for the pepper sauce. And with this, with every 3 coffee bags you put in there, you get a ticket to get a free Coke. Secondly, we have to get the name more known. Not a lot of people know about the Gallon Jug coffee. We went to stores and we asked them, do you have the Gallon Jug coffee? They say, what? They said, you know the coffee from Bowen. They said, oh, the Belizean coffee. And then the second store said, oh, the Bowen and Bowen coffee. So they aren't really enlightened about the fact about Gallon Jug. And yes, we've taken into consideration it's very costly to make a commercial, but somewhere, somehow, it's an investment and it will benefit. Secondly, to sell Gallon Jug coffee with a mug. I know I see these in stores as a promotion, whereby you take one item with another and put them together, and that way it sells more. So having Gallon Jug with a coffee mug, people will be like, oh, hey, a free coffee mug where I don't get this coffee. And then secondly, we have samples done at major stores. Well, we've known that Gallon Jug is sold to the big supermarkets as Brody's, Sayview, and I guess Bottom Dollar as well. So having samples done outside give the people a taste of how this coffee is. Then we have a Gallon Jug stand at the tourist village. Well, every store that we went said, which type of people are the ones who more consume this product? Well, they say the tourists, the people who travel around the country. Having a Gallon Jug stand there will give the tourists a closer reach to the coffee. You can explain to them also the history as well, where Gallon Jug is, the production process. And lastly, we have the tag on shelves inside the stores stating the Gallon Jug coffee. People will be more attracted to it. People will see it more, and then they'll be, I guess, it will bring them closer to the product for them to see, for them to understand, and for them to want to have a try.
We believe that a Facebook page should be created for the Gallon Jug coffee. The distributors should have regular feedback from the retailers so that they can know how the product is selling and what they can improve on. The smaller packaging will be more convenient, for example, single serving size, and it will also help people who want to taste the coffee but maybe they don't want to buy the big bag as yet. That will prompt them to taste the coffee. And the last one is the sponsor to local raffles. For example, there are different raffles for charity around the country, and one of the gifts can be a gift package from the Gallon Jug coffee. This will also get the name out there to let people know that this coffee does exist and it is a high quality coffee.
In conclusion, with these ideas, we believe that the Gallon Jug coffee can be sold and can be promoted more with the dedication and the prompt ability to receive the feedback and also give back to the community as well. And with the history, in our conclusion, this product has a future in the industry.
First and foremost, you look beautiful. I think you were a little more effervescent today. You spoke up a bit more, and I'm happy to see that you're taking charge. Congratulations on the transformation. I think it was an excellent presentation in terms of the ideas presented, the multiplicity of ideas. My critique fundamentally would be that the presentation was a bit disjointed. It wasn't clear. I didn't get a clear sense as to what the marketing strategy was. You spoke to a number of marketing initiatives, but it didn't form a cohesive whole, in my estimation.
Kenny, your mind goes faster than your words, and you need to slow down a little bit. You need to articulate better. With regards to the packaging and labeling, you made a few good points. And when I see this thing, the packaging itself, I am sure that if there is a machine that can vacuum package this, you can actually make it probably a lot tighter. I mean, I buy some coffee abroad when I go abroad, and they have this tight packaging. When you open it, this is a huge amount of coffee comes out of it.
In terms of when you had discussions with the company, what is their present strategy? Did you repeat some of those things in here? Or all of this is what the company is not doing?
As for the pointers that we give, I don't see that they've been using any of it.
You also made reference to where it's grown, how it's produced, and so forth. And none of that is brought out in terms of how they currently market. And you were impressed by the location. So I think, like in that area, because you kept stressing, but only because you visited and nobody else has. So, something could have perhaps been done there.
I would have liked to have seen more balance between the delivery of the young lady as to you, maybe shared a little bit more. It was like she was the color commentator. I love your ideas about smaller packages. This is a large package. And the idea about providing sachets for hotels, the little packets for, it's a great idea.
Yes, you want to push recycling in Belize, but I think that what you should be pushing first is the coffee itself before you push a next initiative. And then you spoke about research done? You didn't say where did you do your research? Did you do it in Belize, or was it something on the internet that you found? Because if you're gonna do a research about a coffee, especially a local coffee made in Belize, I mean, who else to talk best to than the Belizeans themselves?
I did like the ideas about morning shows. I feel like that's a cost-effective way of getting the Gallon Jug name out there, the Facebook page. And I also like the idea about the single serve. I think that's taking a risk, but sometimes risks are good.
Overall, as a team, they worked well together. I was just worried that they weren't focused on the marketing strategies of the company, and they played it safe, and I would have wanted them to be more creative.
And any marketing campaign, guys, you have to remember the trade. You have to remember the shopper. You have to look at the areas where the product is being merchandised in all the stores. That is the key thing, turning the shopper into the buyer at that point of sale.
I think, again, Kim, you need to up the ante. You need now to be the one presenting your ideas. I want to remind everyone around the table, these guys had 2 days to put this together, and from my perspective, they did an excellent job. So congratulations, and I wish you all the best in the finals.
Our name is Gallon Jug Pioneers. What I'll be touching on would be the local marketing campaign. Okay, one of the things that we noticed that Mr. Allen kept explaining to us is that they have a story behind how Gallon Jug started. And what we want to do is to actually make them understand, or your customers understand where you guys came from. It's very important for somebody to actually relate to your product. So what we're looking at is a mission statement. You notice you guys don't have a mission statement. And what a mission statement will do is actually inform people just a little bit about what you guys are actually about, but at the same time giving people that confidence that you guys are out there to accomplish something for them. Dedicate a salesperson for the products. Of course, a salesperson will be an extra pocket to pay. Hear me out. If you have a salesperson only dedicated to Gallon Jug products, what you guys could do with this salesperson is that the salesperson will be able to negotiate where you shelf your products. Now your salesperson, after already negotiating shelf positions, they'll be able to have a stall outside of the grocery stores. Another thing that Mr. Allen also mentioned to us is that you guys also have a line of meats, like beefs and stuff. So you guys can utilize that same meat out there and you can bring it in as well. Now we know that you guys are very close with the community as well. So what you could do is that you can actually have a program that involves them even more and have a recycling program. This could carry you to different avenues. You could have different forms of ways that you would want to do the recycling. Maybe you want to do a recycling drive, or you want to do something where the kids can go out in the districts and pick up bottles, I don't know, stuff like that. Anything that you guys feel would be something good for you, you can go there. Stalls at festivals. I know you guys said that you had stalls outside of festivals. What you would want to do is to do it more and to do it constantly. You could have a television ad, but you can also present yourselves on morning shows. Maybe you want to have something where you have a recipe or something on your morning show that actually incorporates your sauces so people can actually use that as it goes along.
You should change the bottle shape to whatever shape you might see that would capture the attention of the customers. And revisiting the label, for example, the color. Sometimes when, like color, you need to make color more bright so that customers would have an eye on it. It's easy to catch. To me, it's just my opinion. I might be wrong with that, but it's just my opinion. But what we suggest is like put like, for example, you have the meat that the Gallon Jug is producing. You could use that. When we look at the bottle, we don't see none of the expiration date, which is very important. Everybody benefit from this product. For example, the community, the farmers are given job. The children benefit from providing schools to them. And even if children want to excel in school, they are given scholarship because of this product as well.
Okay, our conclusion would be that you guys, of course, the major thing is to have a marketing campaign. Your marketing is a very bit lacking. And so what we really want you guys to push would be the stalls outside, because it's something that people, if your product is something that people would have to taste in order to want to try it and buy it on the shelves. So the stalls would be good. Your booths outside of the expo, your salesperson would be an asset, and of course your steward man on your website would be the tie it up.
Thank you very much, Judith and Salvino. A couple initial reactions to the presentation. I think the storyline was good, but I didn't see the wow factor. I wasn't energized by the presentation. I expected to see a little more pizzazz, a little more color. Salvino, in terms of presentation style, you've had 3 opportunities now to present. I think you need to be much more deliberate. You need to be very circumspect in the way in which you speak. You need to express yourself more deliberately. Judith dominated the presentation in terms of, I almost got the impression that it was Judith's presentation. When I think of pepper, when I think of hot sauce, I immediately get a sense in my mouth. It starts to kind of burn me already. But from my perspective, I wasn't sort of blown away by this presentation.
You have 1 bottle and the group produces 3 sauces. I think at the beginning, you could have probably said or notified or advised us that it's actually 3 sauces. When you look at product differentiation, from a competitive point of view locally, there are other people who make similar products, and I think, some mention should have been made about that and the competitive advantage that this group has, growing their own stuff. All of those things add value to the product.
You didn't go in depth as to how do we get this name out there to be, when somebody says pepper, this product has to come to mind. For a foreigner, what do I put it on a beef? Do I put it on chicken? Do I put it on fruits? Maybe you could have gone a little bit in how to use these exotic products. What I didn't understand is the bottle shape. What would that do for the product? The bottle is the bottle. All in all, presentation styles, nothing that I didn't expect. You need to, maybe practice more. From the first time that you were here, we have seen great improvement. I'll have to tell you that.
The presentation was good. The focus should have been in how you're going to make those sauces stand out on the shelf. What are you going to do to make people, the shoppers, see them on the shelf? Certainly not having the 3 packages here was a big liability. We need to see them. You needed to explain what were the ingredients. You have to get to know your products. What's in the product?
When I saw that mango tango right there, I thought that you guys were only presenting on mango tango. Is there a different bottle in the world that you found that may make the product sell more? The color of the bottle, we're pushing organic, we're pushing natural. You went to Gallon Jug, right? What do you see? A lot of greenery. What is key for Gallon Jug is taste and the quality of the product.
I just think that it could have been more holistic in terms of how you plan to do this market penetration. And take a little bit more risk in terms of what we're gonna do, how we're gonna do it, how we're gonna make it big or go home, right? And I think you guys played it safe.
Salvino was the leader, but he never really took charge. I could see Judith getting a bit frustrated at times because she wanted direction from him as to where they wanted the presentation to go. And I think it ended up where Judith kind of started to feed Salvino information and guiding the team.
Why should I buy the Gallon Jug hot sauce?
It's because it's organic, it's homemade, it's really have a good taste. And if you try it and you put it in your mouth, you will be delighted with the essence in it.
Very good response, Salvino. And Judith, you.
It's a community effort that everybody comes. It's like having your own piece of comfort in a bottle.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We need to send 1 person at least, and probably 2 persons home. So on the basis of what I've heard, I think we have to agree that This is the difficult part of the show. We have to make a decision today. We haven't decided whether one or two will be going home. But before I make that transition, I want to share with you some thoughts regarding the last elimination. During the last elimination, we actually were supposed to be sending home one of the challengers, and we eventually sent home two challengers. And I think there was a very important reason for that. Leadership doesn't mean that you have to like someone. When someone is put in a position of leadership, your ultimate responsibility is to respect that person and to ensure that that person succeeds at the task that they're given. You can disagree, you can share your ideas, but ultimately that person is the person who has the final say in what goes forward. Whether or not that decision turns out to the better or for the worse, you then have to share in the success and failure of that decision. And it doesn't help when we gang up on our leaders or we throw our leaders under the bus. So while none of that is relevant to today's presentation, because I think both teams did well in terms of sharing the presentation, I think it's an important life lesson as you go forward after the show. That you're gonna meet a lot of people who are going to be your supervisors and who are going to be your bosses, who you may think you're brighter than, who you may not share their ideas. But the one thing I want you all to do always is to be respectful in your deportment and in your relationship with those who you report to. Having said that, let me share a couple of remarks with respect to the presentations today. I think both presentations covered similar ground in terms of the ideas which we heard this morning. In terms of rebranding the products and developing a marketing strategy for the products, I think both teams did an extremely good job given the time frame which they had. And they came up with ideas which I believe the marketing team from the Bowen Group felt were relevant and useful in terms of extending the product life, in terms of extending the clientele, and in terms of getting the product on the shelves of a wider distribution channel. Let me speak firstly about Team 1 in terms of where the presentation fell short from my perspective. It's a marketing campaign. You didn't compare the product with competing products. You didn't discuss price points. You didn't discuss enough, in my estimation, bilingual labeling. You didn't discuss enough how you can get this product in the export markets. Because the same effort required to rebrand the product for Belize, with a little more effort, you could rebrand the product for a wider community. And I think the presentation fell short in that particular area for me. With respect to Judith and Salvino, I mentioned it when you presented that there wasn't enough color in the presentation for me. I didn't get the wow factor. At the end of the presentation, I wasn't clear which one of the products you were speaking about. I actually thought the product, the Mango Tango, I think it was called, was actually the pepper. I don't understand why it is we didn't see the three products being presented here. I didn't hear, what is the philosophy behind Gallon Jug, Is it an eco-resort? Is it a nature reserve, In the final analysis, therefore, I think our decision had to be made on the basis of presentation styles, because the essence and the content of both presentations were fairly similar. Kim, you continue to be shy, reserved, introvert. We've spoken to you about that on several occasions. We've told you that you needed to sort of come out to the fore. Kenny, you were speaking a bit too fast. A lot of times the presentation was, we had a problem keeping up with the presentation based on how you were speaking. Salvino, again, you need to take your time. I know you can express yourself. I know you have excellent ideas, But during the presentation, I almost got the sense that, you came and you introduced Judith and then you sort of backed away, and it was Judith's presentation. It was Judith's presentation. Judith, I think you did an excellent presentation today. My critique of you, however, is that, you need to be careful about your body language, because at times I saw you sort of using your eyes and as if you've been exasperated with Salvino, that didn't come across, nicely. So what I will do at this point in time, I'll give each of you an opportunity to say, one, what you would have done differently this morning, and two, why you should go on to the next challenge. So I'll start with you, Judith, and then I'll come down.
What I've done differently would have made the presentation separate or compare what they exactly wanted, which was the competitor and the sauce and their sauces. So going in, I think we would have maybe looked at that more and discussed between each other how we're going to really explain that to them. Going into the next challenge, I felt like, I've really pushed hard this far, and I've pulled my weight in every single challenge that I've done. I've learned to work with everybody. I feel like I really want it. It's something that I really want to be a part of, which is the Belize Bank brand. And so I feel like I have what it takes to be the apprentice. So I really want to go into the next challenge and prove myself more.
Well, I think what we should have done better for the presentation is, like you said, creativity and research more on the product, on how we should market it effectively. Why should I continue to the next challenge is because I bring out good ideas, and those ideas worked when we present our presentation.
I felt that what we should have done differently was research even more, so that we could have had better ideas, and also to include everything that we experienced, because we were talking about the price yesterday when we went into the different stores, but we did not put that into the presentation. And I feel like I am supposed to move on to the next challenge because I am well-mannered, and I have a really creative mind, and I know I'm shy, but I am working on that.
What I will have done differently is first speak a little slower, so you guys get the understanding. Like you said, I speak too fast, so after this I will reflect on that and better myself on that. And then speak more about the gallon jug and how the people can be more aware of it, the pricing as well, and the competition. And why I believe I should go to the next challenge is because I feel that I have the capabilities and I have gathered enough knowledge from the first challenge up till now that can help guide me and help me in making Belize the most preeminent bank of the region.
I think this is going to be a difficult task. But we have to move on. So on the basis of what I've heard, and on the basis of the presentations today, I think we have to agree that Kenny, you'll move on. Judith, you'll move on. Salvino, I think we would have to ask you to leave today. I want to thank you for participating in the program. I want to wish you all the best, and feel free to speak to any one of us, because I think you have a bright future. I think where you need to focus your attention now is on your presentational style and your presentational skills. I'm aware that English is not your first language, but that hasn't kept you back. But we just need to do a little more work on your presentation skills, okay? Thank you very much.
I am the first person to come from PG and reach this far. I think the PG people would be proud of me when they see somebody that represents Toledo. When I found out that Salvino was the one sent home, I wasn't quite shocked. Because from last night, I guess he had the vibe that he was going home with the last dinner, the last meal. He's about to pack. If he goes home, he's proud. I mean, who's proud? Who's proud being in fourth place? But I guess for Salvino, that's something he honors. But I mean, he tried his best, and I give him my props for that. To my point of view, I think Kenny will win this apprentice because he have good skills and he is very dedicated and he is a person to his word. Whenever he said that he will win, he put on his extra shoes, or I should say so.
I would have preferred someone else going home.
I don't know, I think he's just not ready for the competition, so. Best of luck, Salvino.
I'm proud of myself that I have reached this level so far. And I would take this opportunity to thank all my team who I have teamed with. And they encourage me. And I know life doesn't end here. Life moves on, and I will do that.